Hello and welcome back to We Are the Goodison Gang. It is the match preview ahead of Everton's game Friday night against Luton Town, and I'm joined by...
Yeah, so it's Mike from the Blue Boys Network. Good to see you all.
Okay, so let's get straight into it. So Mike, thanks for coming on. What an important game again for Everton to get up the league in the match preview against Luton. Coming back off loads of wins. Now, yes, Dyche hasn't been that good, but now the tracky Dyche has arrived, and now we are winning ways. Are you confident going into the game or not really? I am just a little bit, but Luton need it now more than us because we've stayed up. How do you think that Dyche was set up into the game, Mike?
Yeah, so firstly, we've lost to Luton twice this season in the FA Cup and the Premier League. So I think it's a game that the Everton players, first of all, will want to win. They'll want to prove that they are essentially better on the pitch than Luton. They'll want to prove that, you know, they're not scared to turn up for a game against Luton, and they'll want to prove a point. So, look, firstly, I think the players will be up for it. Sean Dyche is not the sort of manager that will lie down, irrespective of if we're safe or not. And I think from a fan perspective, look, we want to finish the season strongly. Everton could potentially, you know, finish on, if you add the 8 points back on, 50 points this season in real terms. That would be a phenomenal achievement, bearing in mind a lot of us were criticising Dyche, a lot of us criticised the players. But if those 8 points were added back on and we finished on 50 points, for example, this Everton team would probably be 10th or 11th. So for me, it's a game that I want to win. It's a game that I think Everton will win. And I am confident that we will go and turn up at Luton because we played okay away from home this season. We drew with Newcastle. We drew with Brighton when we were 1-0 up for the whole game. So, yeah, let's go there with a smile on our face and go and get 3 points.
Yeah, I agree. I think, to be honest, Dyche will come with a game plan. If he doesn't come with a game plan, then I think he'll be playing for a draw. But I think that the more points we get getting up the league, we'll get money, and that's what we need, as we know that we're lacking it. But it's going to be a hard game, but I think that he'll be setting up to win it, as we do need money, don't we? Ready for the transfer window. The players also have been good recently. It's 3 wins, 3 clean sheets in the Premier League. I believe that it's more than any team in the Premier League with the clean sheets. What are your thoughts on the clean sheets so far when we go 1-0 up?
Yeah, so, you know, obviously, in terms of clean sheets, I think you're right, but I think the only team that has done better than Everton is Arsenal, who are top of the league for a reason. It makes you understand that if Everton had a goal scorer all season and a fit Calvert-Lewin who could play to his best, it does make me think where this Everton team could actually have been this season, because, you know, there's a couple of decent kick-ins in our goal difference as well. You know, we've lost 6-0 to Chelsea. I think we lost 4-0 away at Villa. You know, so if you change those fixtures and even just make it 2-0 or 1-0 in those games, Everton's defensive record is even better. So this Everton team defensively are good. Jordan Pickford, I think, has had another stellar season. I think he's been very good. He's been composed at times. He also loses it at times, but Jordan Pickford wouldn't be Jordan Pickford without that. But, you know, it gives him an incentive that he wants to keep clean sheets. And the next 2 games especially are games where he can go and get clean sheets. Arsenal seem to be conceding the odd goal now. So it would not surprise me if we go into the last game of the season with Everton and Arsenal on the same amount of clean sheets, meaning David Raya and Jordan Pickford in that game will both want to keep a clean sheet. And that just gives a little bit of spice to it as well. So, yeah. Look, Jordan's had a phenomenal season, but the whole defensive line for Everton have had a fairly good season, you would argue.
Yeah, I agree with you, Mike. I really do agree. But going into this game, it's going to be exceptionally hard as Luton are now fighting for their lives. We're not anymore because finally we stayed up, and that's all we wanted. But do you think Dyche will continue with his tracky, or do you reckon he'll put a shirt back on now because we're thinking? It's hard to say.
I hope he sticks with the tracky, mate. To be honest, do you know what? As well, I mean, it sounds a bit silly, but I actually think it suits him more as well. You know, like Sean Dyche, hard-working mentality. You know, shirt, sweat on the shirt. You know, passion on the pitch. I think the tracky suits him better than the suit, to be honest. So I hope he sticks with it. But you know, Sean Dyche has had an interesting week this week. You know, he's been in a music video. He's had a call from Green Day. He's had, you know, numerous things off the field that have been a bit different to what he's used to. So, you know, he's also gonna want to finish this week on a high as well, isn't he? So, yeah. I think the Sean Dyche that we saw maybe at the start of the season is probably not the same Sean Dyche that we're seeing at the end of the season, and you know, there's always been this saying that, you know, once Everton touch you, you were blue, essentially, and you know that you're born a blue, not manufactured. And it's not always true, because you know people like Seamus Coleman were not born blue, but they have been manufactured into a blue. And I'm not saying Sean Dyche is all of a sudden becoming an Everton fan, but I do think he appreciates that he is the Everton manager. Everton are traditionally a big club, and I think he's enjoying the fact that he's gone through the turmoil. And look, we don't really know where we are at the minute in terms of off the pitch financials and whatever. But he's got us safe. You can't, as much as I have criticised him and other fan channels have criticised him, he's actually done a decent job. So he probably deserves a bit more credit than what we've probably given him. And I hope he goes to Luton with a bit of a smile on his face, knowing that, you know, it'd be nice to get another win.
If I was Dyche, I'll just literally walk into Luton, smash them about 3-2-0, play on our very best like we did against Liverpool, and just go out there with big smiles on our face, with big confidence that we've stayed up in the league and we just want to climb the table also to get money.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. He needs to go there with the confidence that these players and him will deliver. And I think he will, because that's what Sean Dyche does.
Yeah. Also, he's also held his pre-match press conference today, and we've got some good news that Calvert-Lewin, Beto, Dobbin, and are all back.
Coleman.
Yeah, Seamus Coleman are all back fit. So I think the only one we've got injured now is Dele, Patterson, and Vitaly Mikalenko, who's going to be out for the rest of the season by the looks of it, with his leg. But Calvert-Lewin back on the score sheet again. So let's hope that we can find him more goals, like under the Ancelotti era and that. I do feel sorry for him because the way he's getting injured again now, but I've got to give him huge credit because he's not really getting injured that much this season since he came back. How do you think Calvert-Lewin's been?
It's been a mixed season for Louis, because when he came back from his injury, not at the start of the season, but probably September, October time, I thought we had Calvert-Lewin back. I think he scored something like 4 in 7 or something, and it was a decent record. And then he went 20-odd games without scoring. And if I'm being honest, he didn't look like the player he used to. He looked well off the boil. He didn't look confident. Didn't look composed. He'd have chances and not score. He did score the odd goal, but it was given offside or disallowed for a different reason. Or I think there was one taken off him because I think it was given to Patterson or someone. But Louis, in the last few weeks has looked better, especially against Liverpool. He was fantastic against Liverpool. And bearing in mind, Dyche said he'd been suffering with sickness and he'd had a knock, and he played that gap, and he was brilliant. It's real credit to him. And then obviously he had a rest at the weekend. A game that I thought Everton were decent value for. Certainly can't complain about it. So yeah, I mean, I am happy, and we'll go into this game against Luton, and hopefully Calvert-Lewin starts and he scores again, because we just need him to be confident going into next season, and the only way he's going to continue to do that is to keep scoring goals.
Yeah, I agree. And by the way, if we do end up going, for whatever reason, 1-0, 2-0 down, then we need to get our heads into it, because we can't afford to literally let the whole game get away from us like we did against Chelsea. But I'm saying this is because Luton are fighting for their lives now, like we were the other week. But it's going to be an exceptionally hard game. But I do think now, because the goals have came back, I think that we'll be much confident going into the game, and hopefully that we're the better side. But I'm just hoping that the ref is not corrupt as fuck, and that, because the ref lately has absolute being a dog's dinner with us and corrupt. Also, my starting lineup before we go, I've gone with the same, apart from Ashley Young. I've gone with Pickford, Godfrey, Trykowski, Branthwaite, and that's it. In defence, I've gone with a 4. Then I'm going to go with Idrissa Gana Gueye, Amadou Onana, Doucouré, and Jimmy Garner. In front of him on the right, Jack Harrison. On the left, Dwight McNeil, and up front, Dominic Calvert-Lewin. And hopefully some of the goals will come from either him or Dwight. But Dwight has also been excellent recently, hasn't he?
Yeah, Dwight McNeil has looked like the player that we saw probably a couple of years ago now. I actually think Dwight McNeil has been poor for most of the season, and obviously he's had trouble at home, which you always sort of back any person to go through. But Dwight has been so much better this week, and over the last few games prior to that. I felt like he was the only player that tried at Chelsea when we lost 6-0. I thought he ran himself into the ground. He was really good away at Newcastle when we got a 1-1 draw before this run. He's been really good midweek and in the week, and then in the games following. He's hit the crossbar, he scored a goal. He looks like the player that we signed. So I'm really happy with him. And in terms of my team, I change it a little bit to you. So I'll go Pickford in goal, Ashley Young, Branthwaite, Tarkowski, and Godfrey. I'll go with a midfield 2 of James Garner and Garner Gueye, with Jack Harrison and Dwight McNeil on the left. And up front, I actually go with 2 up front, and I actually go with Chimite and Calvert-Lewin, and I drop Doucouré. I think Chimite worked really hard last week, and actually he strikes me as someone that could play off Lewin probably better than Doucouré did. So yeah, I'd happily go 4-4-2 in this game and try and score some goals.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely wouldn't start Ashley Young. I think he'd be tired, and also with him being tired, he might score an own goal, but he'll be giving the ball away constantly. So for me, I'd keep him far away from the starting lineup. Maybe if we're comfortable in the second half, bring him on for 1 minute in the 90th minute. Yeah, that's harsh, but that's what I would do because I wouldn't want if we start winning for him to come down, wreck it all, score an own goal or give the ball away, then they score. Nah, because at the end of the day, we need to get up the league now because we're safe and get all the money we need for financial fair play, the point deduction, transfer, the lot. So that's why I'm saying that. Before we go, predictions, I'm going to go with 3-0 Everton. Calvert-Lewin, Idrissa Gay again, and Dwight McNeil. Idrissa Gay, he's been fantastic. Don't you think, Mike? 3 goals in one season.
Yeah, I think he has looked. He's looked about 7 years younger. He's been carrying the ball well. He's been beating people. It's been really refreshing to see. Look, he's a player that, out of all the players that are out of contract, he's the one that I would like to sign another year. And I know people will say, well, what about Coleman, Mike? What about Gomez, Mike? But look, I think Coleman loves Everton enough to be a coach. And I think Gomez has probably got a big move in him somewhere, Qatar, Saudi, wherever. Garner's the one that I want to keep, because Garner's the one that I think would be really beneficial to whoever comes in potentially. Everton have been linked with Wilfred Ndidi from Leicester on a pre-transfer, and I think him learning from somebody like Garner, who's played at PSG, played with Messi, Mbappe, all of the big players you can think of, he has played with them, so he can teach these people coming into this club a thing or two. I think he's really valuable, and I would keep him for another year. And in terms of my score prediction, look, I think it's going to be a really tight game, actually. I think Everton win 1-0, and I actually think it'll be a goal from someone like Tarkowski from a corner or a set piece. But I'd love to score more. I'd love us to do well, really make a real good dent to that goal difference in the next 2 games against Luton and Sheffield United. But look, 3 points is 3 points, and I'd love to get them.
Yeah, I was going to go with the 2, but I thought I'm going to go for the extra because I think Luton will go down. As much as I don't want Luton to go down, I want Forest to go down because they're absolute sly. But I think we've got more about us going into the game. I'm very, very, very confident Dyche, once again, his Tracky will do it for us. The Tracky Dyche will do it.
Yeah, Dyche and his tracker.
Yeah, I literally love his Tracky. I think what I might do, I might just buy one. But anyway, we're going to finish it there. Thanks, Mike, for coming on. Go and subscribe to Mike's channel. And also subscribe to We Are The Goodison Gang. Hit the notification, like the match preview. And yeah, don't forget to hit subscribe to you never miss an update. See you soon. Nice one, Mike.